Welcome back to Hot Takes and Deep Dives. This is Jess, and welcome. This is part 2, the continuation of the But Now We Said It, our unpopular opinions with FacesByBravo, aka my friend Steve. And on Friday, we released part 1 of this concept where we said a lot, quite frankly. So in part 1, if you missed that episode, it came out on Friday, and in that episode, we did Steve's declaration for best and worst Bravo shows. We did RHONJ, Orange County, and we had just started Beverly Hills. We also reacted to the Atlanta trailer, but that was separate. So if you missed Friday's episode, go and listen to that, and then right as you finish, you catch the very beginning of our Beverly Hills chat, and then jump to this episode. This episode, we're going to cover all of Beverly Hills, New Jersey, Potomac, Vanderpump Rules, and Lisa Vanderpump. And we're going to start it right now.
I know we were going to talk like our favorite Housewives season of all time. And I give Beverly Hills season 2 the best season of all time of all franchises. And I think that because I even say like 1 through 3 together are just such a triad that when they started this show, the Beverly Hills show, they had no clue what was coming. Like they were, showing this glitz and this glam and money, like wealth beyond belief. And what we got was these people have an insane amount of money, but they face the same shit we do. They got divorced. They've got suicide. They've had addiction issues. They've had family issues. Just so much stuff that it's like we watch the show because we're like, oh, I want to know what it's like to be that wealthy. Mm-hmm. But then, and it's probably so nice and they don't have any issues. But then you see, oh my gosh, they're just like us.
I mean, even somebody like Adrienne Maloof is a favorite of mine. Because, what? You don't like it?
Ooh, no, I'm not an Adrienne fan.
Wow. Tell me why.
I just felt like once she got, like after season 1, she was like loved, but she was jealous of Lisa Vanderpump a lot. And I am not like an LVP stan by any means, but the way Adrienne was like plotting against LVP, I just thought was weird. And then like I will say Brandi was wrong for bringing up everything on season 3 involving her family. That was horrible. But the irony of her trying to sue after she just made a huge deal in season 2 about Taylor trying to sue. Mm-hmm. I just like, and also what was with the tinsel? I mean, the hair tinsel. I can't get behind it. I can't.
I don't know. I always loved her kind of take no shit. I love a broad.
Yeah, no, I do
and she's
too.
a broad, and she felt very much like she wasn't trying to put anything on. I loved her relationship with Paul. I loved that. Like I was very drawn into them. Like I could watch them like fucking bicker and fight like for hours and hours. Oh my god, when they're in Hawaii, I totally like had forgotten this from when I first saw it when I was telling that story with my friend here. There's a scene where the two of them like go on a hike. And he like tries to hold her hand, and like for a few minutes they're holding hands, and then she's like, all right, like that's enough.
Right.
She like so.
There were so many moments like in season 1, she was going on like, I don't know if she was doing a photo shoot in Vegas or something, and Paul was like, I want to come, and she's like, I don't want you to come. Like she basically was like, no, I don't want you to come. He was like, I want to have like a weekend away from the kids with. She's like, if anything, let's bring the kids. Like, she literally hated her husband.
I love it.
No one hated her husband more than her.
Oh, my God. I love it. Anything else Beverly Hills related?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, do you have an unpopular take on like Rinna or Erica Jane? Things that are outside the, the common feeling now is everyone hates Rinna, everyone hates Erica.
So I don't hate Rinna. I'll get into that, but Carlton and Catherine deserved a second season, I believe.
Who the fuck's Catherine?
Catherine came in mid-season 6.
Catherine Edwards?
Yeah, I think she
Oh,
deserved
fuck
another
her.
season.
Forget it. Well, I don't remember her. She's another one. Wouldn't know her if she walked in this apartment. And I watched the season.
I know. I disagree though. I think where she fumbled the ball was we were all ready for this Faye versus Catherine thing. And as soon as they got face to face, it was like so anticlimactic. She shut down. Like she didn't really give it to Faye like I wanted her to. And so I think that was her downfall. But I still think she also came in mid-season. So it's like a weird, they don't do that anymore, really. She came in really late. So I feel like she could have used another season to fully develop. Eileen Davidson is severely overrated.
Oh my God. I was just going to say I love her.
Overrated.
Why is she overrated?
Okay, here's the tea on that. She was like fine in season 5 because it was her first season and she didn't know what she didn't know what to expect or what was coming. I felt like she is too much of a soap star that she felt so inauthentic and sort of broke the fourth wall just by being herself, if that makes sense. She like was so awkward about bringing. So let's talk about this that happened. Like she was never very like seamless with like trying to be like, we're not on a TV show and we're just catching up kind of deal.
Like like it was too obvious that she was she was acting.
Well, yeah, and like she like instead of like conversations naturally coming up, it would be like she would make a point to like really just bring something up in an awkward way. Like it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't feel natural. And I feel like everyone loves Eileen and I think she's fine as a friend, but I never thought after season 6 and 7 she should have been a friend in my opinion. And, that's a hot take.
And yeah, that is a hot take. And tell me, give me your defense of Rinna present day in 2020.
Oh my gosh, I am so anti Denise.
How dare you?
Oh, I know. Here's the deal.
Denise is a sweet, sweet baby angel.
Oh, everyone says that. No,
no, I'm serious. I really feel that. I really feel that way. I love her. I
mean, they were both wrong in certain ways. Like I was very middle of the road for a lot of the season because there was things that I felt the women did wrong, but most of my anger was actually on Denise because knowing of like what she was doing behind the scenes, like the bravo, 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 and not showing up, or you sign up to be on this show and you know what's coming. You know that anything can be put out there, right? As fucked up as it is, whatever, it can happen. But you got to have a way to get through that. And everyone has their turn. And sometimes they have their turn multiple times. This Brandy thing could have been shut down from the start. She could have said at the table, like, what? What is Brandy? Well, I don't know why she's saying that. No, that never happened. 2, that's none of my sex life's none of your business. Now, what else are you mad about? Move it on. Shut it down.
So how do you like Rinna? Like, so where's the defense of Rinna?
So everyone is pissed off at Rinna for
dragging it.
But I think she was frustrated too, because throughout the season, we only saw the bravo, 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 like what, 2 times it was apparently going on way more than that. And the way Denise was acting, she couldn't just shut it down. She could have lied. She could have lied and said it didn't happen. Do I think she had sex or hooked up with Brandy Glanville? Sure. The cast didn't care about that. They cared about what the hookup said about, or her lying about the hookup said about Denise, because Denise was allegedly not talking shit about anybody, right? And she clearly was lying about that. When she started lying about the Brandy stuff and being really sketchy, it makes you question her if those were all lies too. The women weren't like pissed that Denise didn't tell them about the hookup. It was more about she wasn't being honest to their faces about how she felt about them. And that just proved their point more, like, of how truthful she is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. I think the viewers are confusing. They're saying we hate Rinna, we want Rinna off the show. They don't hate Rinna. Rinna is like a Kelly Ripa. Like, she's just innately like a wonderful personality. Mm-hmm. The viewers are not liking how Rinna is producing the show. Every one of the franchises has a cast member that is actually producing the show. Giselle is producing Potomac. She's moving the... What, you're disagreeing with me?
No, I'm saying...
You're agreeing.
I have very strong opinions about Giselle, but we'll get there.
Okay. So like, for example, like Giselle is producing the show. Jersey, I would say, I don't know, maybe they're all too dumb to figure out how to produce it. But
I think Margaret does now.
Yeah, maybe Margaret is doing it. If she's like
the one that keeps things moving.
Yeah. Leanne was producing Dallas. You get it. And
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean. And
totally.
So I think the viewers just don't like Rinna's producing style. And I think Rinna's producing style is to draw it out.
So I have a hot take on that. I actually feel like we need to stop blaming the cast members and more production, because there was so much more stuff that could have been shown and things that happened that didn't. And production,
like what? Give me an example.
Well, I'm just saying, like, watching The Secrets Revealed, there was tons of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how they film a ton. And not to say that I've seen all this other stuff, but through The Secrets Revealed, that storyline could have still played out, but we could have gotten a break from, like, with some of this other stuff.
You know what they should have followed? And could have been a little mini storyline for 2 episodes and been really interesting, is if they really followed the whole Kyle Richards flat out accusing this innocent fortune teller or psychic who was, I guess it was like Diane Keaton. She saw a post on Diane Keaton's Instagram of a fortune teller's hand with a ring that she thought looked like her mother's ring that was stolen when there was the big robbery. And then, of course, this older woman's granddaughter naturally is on TikTok and fucking like exposes that Kyle's like just making shit up.
Right.
Of course, we wouldn't have had the payoff until the very end, like once it was airing on TV, but we could have gotten more juice out of this.
Well, that's the thing, is like there was probably more things going on. And it's possible to have multiple storylines going at once. And I don't think that is a cast thing. I think that's a production thing, because production is the one that's doing the storyboard, you know? And it's like they're the ones that choose what ultimately makes it. So there may have been a whole nother feud that we didn't even see that could have been in addition to what was happening.
Let's roll into Potomac, because you just had a violent reaction when I mentioned Giselle.
She is one of my least favorite. I can't stand her, because she cannot ever admit her wrongs. She pulls everyone's dirty laundry out for someone who has the most skeletons in her closet, allegedly. What's so commendable about a lot of the other cast members is they put everything out there. Karen's tax issues, Ashley's husband's infidelity, Candace and her mom's relationship, Robin with her tax issues and losing all their money, Monique this season, the run-in with Candace, and there was a darker reasoning that played into all of that. Like, everyone else's stuff is out. She has no problem dragging all that out. But guess what? She has all this in her closet. But
what am I missing? What else is in her closet aside from the fact that the husband... does the husband have another child? Oh, the fact that she's not talking about the other child?
She won't even talk about... She is literally... Well, I actually don't believe that they're dating. I don't even think that they're together. And if they are, I feel like...
Oh, you don't believe that Giselle is with Jamal?
I think it was a storyline.
I had read that a long time. Really?
And then I do. I think it's that, or if she really is with him. I mean, I don't think he's being faithful.
Also, don't they don't even live in the same city, so how can that even work?
It doesn't make sense. The kids hate it. They don't have any chemistry. And I don't like it. And then I'm going to say it. She's always been jealous of Monique since Monique came on season 2.
Why? Why was she jealous?
Well, Giselle said, or Monique said, "Oh, I'm looking for a home in Potomac." And Giselle said, "Oh, you don't have a home?" She said, "I have 4 homes."
Oh, yes.
And since then, Giselle has never liked her and has always, in all of there was no feud started on Monique's part. It was this weird, and I think what it is what Monique's life is probably what she envisioned her life of her and Jamal. And she will never admit that. I guarantee it. But it's so easy to read because Monique has the husband, the kids, the money, the great family, the big house in Potomac. And she was the star of the show in season 1, and she still is a big character, but like she had competition at least. And that to me, it was just so annoying because it's like, y'all could be cool. Like y'all would be, I feel like you could have been a good duo even. It would be fun to watch you guys hang out instead of constantly have to like hate, you know?
So I guess I have to ask, are you Monique, Candace, or whatever the fans are calling it, the table?
I'm definitely Monique. I don't support.
Really?
Yeah, I do not support. I don't think that violence is ever right, but I can understand that sometimes things can lead. Like everyone's human. Mm-hmm. I was not in that situation. Would I have probably done that? No. But you don't know what was going on and what was triggering and all of that. I cannot say that, although I've never been in a fight, who knows what could happen in my future and what my trigger could be. And I think it's really unfair to think that it couldn't happen to you, because it could. And you may not know, you may be in a spot in your life, or something might just be a trigger that you didn't know was a trigger. Someone could have been provoking you to a point where you have just lost your last nerve. There's so many. I don't think what she did to Candace is right by any means. It's inexcusable. But I know that people are human and that can happen. Mm-hmm. You know,
I haven't been able to really, my default landing was always to have my empathy and my sympathy for Candace, because I actually I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I actually genuinely liked Candace. Like, I found her to be cute and charming and funny. Like, she didn't annoy me. She didn't get under my skin the way she does a lot of people.
I was with you. Hot take 3 and 4. I loved her, except in 4 again. She, I think, is the one that ruined their relationship, because Monique was actually really trying to help her out all that season. And don't do this. You're doing exactly what they were doing to me, or Ashley was doing to me. You're going to look stupid. But she took that as you're taking Ashley's side. And it's like, no, I'm trying to be your friend and tell you, don't do this. You don't want to go down this road. And that, I think, as that feud went on, like, it changed the relationship. And then I don't know if you caught the lives that they did. Candace did, like, the second episode, week of the second episode.
I think, yes. Yeah.
Sure. She talked about how there was plotting of saying that Chase was not Chris's baby. And
yes,
that Charisse had, a former friend had given to Charisse and Candace, and Charisse wanted it to come out. And so her bringing Charisse around, that tells you a lot.
It was a real weapon.
She knew what she was doing. And for her to say at that dinner, it was so funny, the timing of this episode, because she did that live. And in that episode, she's sitting at the dinner table. I didn't know that your beef was so deep. And it's just like, and everyone at the table is looking around like, you're kidding. We all know why it's deep. And like, even Giselle did that too. She was like pretending like she had no idea. Like, why do you hate Charisse? Why do you hate? Mm-hmm. And that's a dark thing to, like, you can make up rumors if you want, I guess. That is something that is a line that should not go anywhere close to it. And the trainer thing, it's like completely fake. Like,
that's bullshit.
That's not even a rumor that was going around Potomac, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't like fake shit. I want the real deal.
No, you said that so well. I can't even add to. I mean, it's mostly because I haven't really been. It's like it's still unfolding, and I'm still waiting to like see what happens. I need to see how Monique behaves at the reunion. I need to see just the way things shake out, because it's still like an unfolding thing. But yeah, my natural instinct was always just to kind of have a feeling more toward Candace. But I'm through listening to you, I'm getting like the broader like strokes of it all.
Right. The people that I think are team Monique, well, there are people that are okay with violence, but there's a lot of people that are on Monique's side, not because of the violence. They don't want the violence, but it's going to happen in life. And then there's things are really mixed up on what actually the order of things, because if you saw recently, there was like another photo that finally surfaced where the glass and there's white wine coming at her face.
Yes.
So like there's so many, it was so quick and fast. I don't know. I just think there was a lot of pent up motion and being provoked. And Candace loves to provoke to the point where she's like Kenya.
She's relentless.
She's relentless. Like Kenya, when Portia dragged her, like I understood how it got that far. That girl has been antagonizing that woman for all season and then putting stuff in her face. You're a dumb hoe with the bullhorn. Like I understood, not that it's violence is right, but I can see how it got there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. 100%. All right, let's finish this out. Let's go to New Jersey. Okay, let me just like throw out some quick things here. I know Margaret is everyone's favorite. Any grown woman in their 50s who self-describes themselves as, quote, like a drag queen, I'm a cartoon character, to me is a bit dim.
Oh,
like I find her to be funny. She's witty, but it's cheap. I feel like a lot of what she does is like cheap, easy bits.
I love the Marge. I love what she and this is a hot take. Oh, I don't know if it's a popular opinion, I'm sure. But I actually think Margaret was the saving grace for New Jersey after
completely.
Like if she had not come on and like the season 7 would have come back, I don't think Jersey would be around anymore. I actually think she was very pivotal in keeping this around. I think it's effortless for me. To watch her, it's easy to watch her. She's great. I think she holds her own. And she's not malicious. I love that she's not malicious, but she will defend herself. And I mean, she will, like, if you try to take her down, she'll come at you. But like, don't start none, won't be none, as Candy would say. You know, like, I think Marge is like a really good housewife.
Oh, she's a fantastic housewife. But I think I like, if I'm like comparing two people who are like the two, okay, here's okay, I'm gonna just like throw this out there.
I think we're gonna have the same opinion because I think you were about to say it. What is it?
Well, I was gonna say one thing and then something else like flew into my head. I got two strong opinions here. Number one, I love Jennifer. And I think
that's what I was gonna say.
I love Jennifer. She is fucking smart. She is smart and she has an ability, I think. She just has an ability to like suss out what is real, what is not. She's wise in a way that Margaret is not wise. Margaret does not have a good judge of character.
So here's my take on Jennifer. I think she is the blueprint for a perfect housewife. She is literally, if you could give a manual to someone, it would be Jennifer Aydin, and nobody will agree. Very few people agree on that. They have strong feelings about her, which is mind-blowing to me because for me, she does the job. She's rich. She has this huge house that she brags about. It's decorated really tacky. She is messy. She will throw cutlery or glassware, which is my favorite part of Housewives. I need every season needs to have one moment where a glass is thrown or cutlery or plates are thrown. I need that. And a lot of the times we see her in her fights, she's wrong, but she gives us lovable moments that redeems. So this is where Candace goes wrong. There's no redeemable qualities. Kenya, no redeemable qualities. Danielle Staub, no redeemable quality. Like all of these things. Jennifer, she may do some crazy dramatic stuff, but that story with her mom and her brother, the story with Gabby, those moments, you see her as a real human being. And like, there's more to her than just starting a little shit with somebody or, you know, I just think she is a perfect housewife.
I love her.
And Jackie, I think Jackie gets misconstrued. People's opinion of that is they didn't listen to what she was saying in her first season to Teresa. She solely was trying to make in that moment. She was not throwing jail in her face, like in Joe going to jail. Everyone's like, how dare you like take this moment and like use that against her? It wasn't that. She was using Teresa's logic that Teresa was had for Melissa on herself so she could realize, see, what you're asking is not realistic. And she took it, you know, Teresa would always take any subject that's sensitive. She sees red and she doesn't even think what was actually said. And I think that's what the viewers are mixing up, in my opinion, because I think that's brilliant that she used it, because Teresa can never admit she's wrong, and it drives me insane.
Give me your feeling on where do you stand on Teresa?
So I love her now. Early seasons, like I loved her in like 1 and 2. 3 through I don't even know what, I struggled with her. Her inability to say sorry or gaslighting, or she was a monster. It's the tree huggers are going to come after me for this because, you know, like they're very passionate about their tree. But I honestly think now without Joe, she is so much more free, so much more likable, so much easier for me to watch. And then at BravoCon, she sold me because she was so fun to watch on stage in her panel. And like, I got to ask a question. I was like, did you and Joe have sex in Italy? And she like she laughed it off and everything. Like she didn't care. It wasn't so serious. And there's a more human element to her and like likable factor.
I felt like the performance, or not the performance, I would just say I felt like that sort of, you know, that tacked on like Italy trip in the finale. I felt that was some of the most honest documentarian work that we have seen on any of these shows. I feel like she has given, I'm not saying I think she's the greatest housewife, but I just feel like within the realm of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like just looking at that one franchise, because you really can't compare it to any of the others because this is like familial stuff. I guess Beverly Hills is really the only comparison with the Richard sisters. And now that Kathy's coming in, that's a whole other thing will be fascinating. I like Teresa. I mean, she's dumb as a brick, but she's endearing. Like I love that she can't read.
Or she says ingredients or coming.
I love it.
Well, this is a perfect example. You know how the cameras, or like at the finale that was shocking where she had told Danielle to pull the hair or whatever. And then she's like, oh, I hope they're not going to use this. And all the cameras pan on her and she ran away, whatever. Remember in the early seasons when she wouldn't admit any of her guilt of trying to bring up Melissa stuff? Finally, she was caught red-handed kind of deal. It shows that most of us knew what she was doing behind the scenes if you had eyes. Like literally she was behind it.
Do you have any other strong feelings Jersey-wise, just from like past housewives that like people were generally hated? I mean, like, do you secretly like love Amber Marchese, some skeleton we want to bring out of your closet?
I have 3 skeletons.
Okay.
Dina, while she was great, she was never more than a friend of to me. I don't think she brought enough ever in her seasons. Like, she was good. Her confessionals are what saved her. But as far as in the season, she did nothing for me. So that's a hot take. Kathy Wakili, I believe, was severely underrated.
She's great.
She's fantastic. Clearly, no one gets under Teresa's skin more than Kathy. Yeah, I think even more so than Melissa. Melissa, she saw as a threat, but Kathy, she saw something deeper. Kathy was good. I loved her. And she also gave that sort of just like mom feel at the same time as she was still able to be in the drama. Finally, season 6 is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's different. And that's the thing. And that's the real tea. Like, I mean, it's not by any means on my radar as something I would ever watch again. But when you watch it,
is season 6 one with the twins?
Twins, Amber,
okay.
and
yeah.
Other hot take, I like the twins.
Oh God, get out of here.
I know, but it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It was just so drastically different from the first 5 seasons. Once we got to season 5, that story was so played out. We needed something new. Maybe that wasn't it.
I want to tell you guys about my experience with wine.com. If you're like me, I find wine or a champagne really is the best housewarming or holiday gift because you can crack it open that night over dinner, or you can save it for the next Housewives premiere, whatever. Did you know that wine.com is just the simplest and easiest way to search for wine? You will not find a broader selection of wine online or in stores, period. You can search by red, white, sparkling, champagne, rosé, you name it, or by region, and they deliver it right to your door. They even have this chat feature where you can chat with a wine expert right on the website if you need guidance on which wine you like best or if you have any questions. By the way, they also have an app which makes the whole deal even simpler. So if you prefer, just download the wine.com app from the App Store in either Apple or Android, and you can search and buy wine while you're sitting on the couch watching TV. If you want to try it out, just go to wine.com/hot takes and get $50 off your first order. WINE.com/HOTTAKES. So it's wine.com/hot takes and get $50 off your first order. I want to do a version of this. I want to do Vanderpump Rules because I love Vanderpump Rules. This is like in its heyday, pretty much up until last year. Vanderpump Rules was right there with like New York, Beverly Hills. It went New York, Beverly Hills, Vanderpump Rules, and then like Potomac. So I'd love to like. Do you have like strong opinions that are like against the grain?
I do. And fun fact, I just filled out my viewers' voice survey on like through NBC, and it was a detailed Pump Rules one because I have extremely strong opinions on where it needs to go next year. So here's the deal. Vanderpump Rules was incredible. It was nothing like we'd ever seen because these people were legit best friends, and they had this weird relationship where no matter how shitty someone could do to you, the love was there enough that you could move forward. Or it was just so wild. And like, I think that there was a fun fact from a producer, like that scene, like one of those initial scenes that they shot in the first season, like sitting at the table and Stassi said she's the devil. Like they didn't even have to be coached. That was all natural. Like it was real. And it got so dramatic and it was so messy. The problem, it started to lose me though, because, now we have everybody married. It's no longer the show of what it was, which I'm still invested in them. It just needs to be a different show. That needs to all change, but I want them to be people that are single or in a relationship, but are maybe not so stable or searching to get their big break. That's what's going to bring Pump Rules its charm back.
But I don't think it will work because what you're describing is they need to go cast it. Vanderpump Rules was never cast. There were only two people who were quote unquote, well, I'm not counting last season, which was totally cast. In the original season the original years, the golden years that we loved, the only two people that were truly cast were Lala and James Kennedy.
And Vale.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the ones that were,
I know what you mean,
it was a miracle. They got so fucking lucky with James Kennedy and Lala that it somehow worked. But that's an anomaly. That's not, you can't trust that.
I completely agree with you. That is always the formula has to be authentic and real relationships, because if these relationships are super shallow, the drama is not going to be that deep. It's not going to be that interesting. It's going to feel fake. So I agree with you in that sense, but I'm telling you, living here, there's no way there is not another group of friends. It may not be as many of them that they could do something with. I have faith in that working.
I have one really, really unpopular opinion.
You love Jax, don't you?
I don't hate him. Do you realize, did people realize how brilliant, how lucky we are. This guy, a complete sociopath, a pathological liar, zero remorse. I love it. I love it. Perfect for television. He is perfect for reality TV in the way that Bethany is perfect for reality TV. But they're bringing different skill. Well, they're bringing a different personality blueprint to the table. If Jax was gone, there's nothing.
Here's the deal. Jax was great. Like I loved Jax, not because he was a good person, but because of just what you were saying. He was great television. But over the past season, it's just tired. It's not good anymore. It's not.
I get that. It becomes. He was so unpredictable. That was why he was great, because he was so unpredictable.
Exactly. He lost his magic. That's why like people are hating on it. I mean, also because he's gross, but he's not. He doesn't make sense on the cast to me anymore. Not a lot of them. I feel like I said, it's two separate shows. The show has evolved. Like these people have grown as people. They're having babies. They're be married. You know, but. Golden Years, Vanderpump Rules is some of the best television that we'll ever see. It will
always be the best. And I find it sad when shows are like tainted by like their last thing. They're like, oh, it sucks. No, like we can't
let it go out.
We can't just write off Vanderpump Rules. Like we are going to watch the first 6 seasons of Vanderpump Rules the same way we're going to watch the first 11 seasons of Real Housewives of New York, the way the generation before us rewatches the Golden Girls or rewatches like Friends, or well, that's my generation, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, I know exactly.
You can't throw away something as perfect as Vanderpump Rules because the last season sucked.
This is probably a hot take. I wasn't like in love with last season, but I didn't hate it like everyone hated it. There were moments where it was I was thinking maybe it was a moment thing.
There were moments where I remember saying to friends like, oh, like it's actually getting good. Like they had like a 3 episode run where it was like really good, and then the Max and Brett and Dana, like that all just.
I'm obsessed with Charlie. Underrated queen. She finally, I think people didn't know what to do with her at the beginning because first of all, she came in, she signed her contract late. So she came in like they had already been filming, but people were like, who the fuck is this girl? Why doesn't she like pasta or never eat pasta? You know, whatever. Yeah. And didn't understand. But then as we didn't see her as much as the other newbies, but as she developed more, she's really, really funny. Like in a like unintentional way.
This is the final thing I'm going to pose at you. And I want your opinion. I just want your truth to come out.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
Lisa Vanderpump. How do you feel?
This is actually a really good story. I was at one point an LVP stan, if you will. I had the rose-colored glasses on and everything. I loved her through. I mean, and I don't dislike her now. It's just the magic of what Lisa Vanderpump is lost for me a little bit. And here's why. So in the early seasons, I just thought she was the star of the show. Like, and now I realize like Kim really made the show very dramatic and stuff for other reasons. But LVP was just, the charm was there. The British accent, I think, really entranced a lot of people. She was funny.
Smart.
I don't know.
Intelligent.
Smart. So intelligent. So intelligent. So rich. And just like she was good TV. And I would be the one that would defend like, oh, she wasn't behind any of this stuff. No, this is crazy. While I do not believe at all that she was behind Puppygate, I 100,000% do not believe that she had anything to do with it. And that's why I think she was very, very angry about it.
Who was behind it? Producers?
I don't know. I think I have ideas, but I don't know. I'm not saying it couldn't have been in her camp, but I don't think she had anything to do with it, nor had knowledge of it. Mm-hmm. And that is my one time that I will say now, looking back, the other stuff, totally believe it now. Like Munchausen's, the magazine, the tabloids, all of that stuff. It all makes sense.
And now we said it.
Yeah. But now we said it. Exactly. And I was so disappointed. I think she let herself and her fans, she should not have come on last season if she was in such a bad space, because she really let herself and fans down. Not showing up to the reunion, that's bullshit. Like, you signed this contract and this is your job. And like, I don't get to not show up to the hospital just because I didn't like something.
Amazing point.
And if anything, she gets kind of rewarded because she has her other job.
So where do you land? Like where do you land with her?
I don't want her back on Housewives. And for Vanderpump Rules, I found it so incredibly cringy this season how she was much more present.
Yeah.
I like her as the mentor, as the like person they can turn to in certain moments. Them making absurd scenes just to have her in was very cringy to me.
Same.
And it felt like it was like, I can't hang out with my friends anymore, so I'm going to hang out with you young kids.
Yeah. The scene where they faked it with the underwear with Tom Schwartz, that was ridiculous. Or the bra, whatever, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, where I stand with LVP, I thought she was a brilliant housewife, a brilliant producer, where she really showed her strength on Vanderpump Rules. She is the mastermind behind Vanderpump Rules. Okay, when it comes to the producing of everything, she knows every single thing that's going on in each and every one of the kids' lives. I do want her back on Housewives. Like, I want her back in some sort of starring thing because I do find her inherently very watchable. I find her humor becoming really cheesy. Maybe it's just like age. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's turning into like cringy. But more than anything, while I want her back on Housewives in a starring role, I know it can't happen so long as Rinna and Erica Jane are on, because they hate her in a way. They hate her, or they're jealous of her for some reason. I guarantee you Kyle would be like, okay, come back.
I think Kyle would too. I agree with you.
It's Rinna and Erica Jane. It's got to be jealousy.
Well, here's a hot take. So again, whenever Lisa essentially quit and we knew she was not going to be coming back, through all of these years of Housewives, I always would say, I cannot envision Beverly Hills without Lisa Vanderpump. Like, she is a staple. And I do want to give credit for a lot of what she did on the franchise. However, this season, I love.
Me too.
It was like a weight was lifted, and I honestly would say she should have gone sooner. Here's the deal: the last good season was season 5. That was it. 6, 7, 8 was the worst. Rinna like took the back seat. There hasn't been a good season, and you know what? I think unfortunately part of that has to do with this uncomfortability of LVP, and no one felt safe. Essentially, being able to be light and not have to always watch their back as much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're jealous of her. I think
they don't trust her.
They don't trust her, of course, because why would they?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting. I think it was season 9 where they never had showed this before, but they showed Camille calling LVP out after she did the But Now We Said It.
Yes.
She called LVP out for like, you told me to do this. You did this and you didn't have my back. And that is like chilling.
Well, it showed how well she was producing the show.
1000%. Because I bought that completely.
No, it was, is she brilliant producer? Brilliant producer. Steve, you're amazing.
You're amazing.
You are amazing. Everyone knows to follow you at FacesByBravo. Where else can people I know that you have like a YouTube show.
So so Faces by Bravo. Obviously go there for memes, polls. I do a lot of brackets that are like, March Madness style that people really love. I love doing them. But Now We Said It is our YouTube series. In my head, I always thought why is there not a View style talk show, which funny, Bravo chat room came out a little bit. Like what we're doing right now, that could be a show, like sitting around at like the View. So that was my theory. I wanted 4 or 5 guys, gays.
I I had an idea.
Yeah, I had an idea.
Four different gay boys with different points of view.
It's literally, I mean, all of our, yes. I know. So original, Steve, right? But no one's doing it. Like, no one was doing it. So I was like, I found the perfect
Wait, so this was,
people
it was
for
your
us.
idea?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was your idea. Amazing.
Oh, yeah,
I thought you were just a host. Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I knew Jeff and I have, well, we have very similar opinions, but we have very differing ones. And then all of us in general, it's also mixed. So it's such a good dynamic. If you want to look at what we previously have done, go to YouTube, and our channel is But Now We Said It.
But now we said it.
But now we said it.
You're fantastic. Like, please come back soon. Like, the next time, like, I can't wait for someone else to get fired and we can do a whole.
I totally, anytime I'm around. I can talk this shit all day.
You're wonderful. Guys, you guys can follow me, Jess XNYC, follow the show account, Hot Takes Deep Dives, and Steve and I will see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.